Round number one, maximum 3-5s in the light heavyweight division. Paul Craig versus the debut fighter, Magomed Ankalaev. No touch of gloves there. Paul Craig coming in with a very different mindset to this fight. Dan, as you said when you spoke to him earlier in fight week, needs to get a win here. He's 9-2. He wants that 10th victory to be inside the octagon under the bright lights of the UFC.
He really got in Ankalaev's face at the weigh-ins yesterday. Obviously with the Braveheart face paint as well, it was...
I had a bunch of people message me saying that, one, they wanted the video that I took, and they're like, who is that guy? Who is he? And they were starting to get behind him.
Yeah, well, but from my perspective, Ankalaev just had a big smile on his face. He was... I mean, he just seems so confident to the point where there's no real doubt in his mind that he's going to win this fight. It's Paul Craig that's got to overcome those demons here, and for my money, this is a great example of him on form, pushing forward in the center of the octagon. His jab's one of his best weapons by far, and if he can invest in that early, he can certainly start to upset the timing of Ankalaev.
Well, Ankalaev's last 3 fights have finished by knockout, 2 of which came clean as well in the very first round. One against the UFC vet, Prado, and another one who is a 30-fight veteran, so really experienced guys.
Oh, that was a nice body kick. Paul Craig registered that.
Oh yeah, that's
his elbow
registered.
dropped to his midsection.
Taking a deep breath now. Ankalaev looking to create some distance. He's trying to get out of that overhook. Always taking a knee. That's unfortunate. Right to the intimates of Ankalaev.
Unfortunate for Ankalaev, but if that was a body kick that Paul Craig took, this gives him time to readdress his diaphragm situation and get some oxygen back in his lungs.
I'm not sure he's worried at all about his diaphragm, Dan.
Told you no coaching. No coaching. No.
Yep. Yeah, that went straight up.
It's unfortunate.
Going to get a warning there off of Mark Goddard. And they re-engage round number one. I've watched a few guys tap out to strikes from Ankalaev from when he gets in that top position. He also very sportingly sticks around and then helps them back to their feet. So he is a nice guy as well, Dan.
He is, but he's got, I mean, you wouldn't think that when you're watching his ground and pound. It is really vicious. He likes to smash people up against the fence, so they're really claustrophobic in that angled space, and then he plows big punches onto the chin, and he knocks them out with usually 2 or 3 big shots because he's so accurate. Oh, look at this.
The shot there from Paul Craig, who now eats a knee as well.
Really nice takedown defense from Ankalaev.
Interesting that Craig thinks that that's where the fight will be run. We do know that Paul Craig has great submission credentials, but I'm just going to list a couple of things here. 3 times Russian champion, amateur champion of MMA, Greco-Roman champion of Dagestan, master of combat sports in combat sambo, international master of amateur MMA as well by Ankalaev. So he's no slight in those ground fighting exchanges as well.
True that, but at the same time, he has no submissions on his record that have been recorded, so he's much more about finding his grappling positions to strike than submit.
Oh, big left hand there. That wobbled the big beard of Paul Craig. Nice back step there from Craig. Can he readjust?
Really good work controlling and elevating the legs from Paul Craig.
Really nice way to establish side control.
This is a good position for Craig here.
Ankalaev with almost like an X guard. He's trying to use that on the right leg of Craig.
I feel like he's just using that to control him so he doesn't circle. There we go. Now he's got the underhook. Looking for a shin across the belt line so he can create space.
Good underhook there from Ankalaev. But watch Paul Craig trying to threaten with that dust. That is the counter. Leaning heavy is Craig, and he is reversed. Lovely stuff there from Ankalaev. Patient work down in his UFC debut.
Absolutely, and this is where his ground and pound comes into play, because he's really good at creating space and finding the chin with really accurate shots.
But watch out for the triangle, Dan. Look at that foot position from Paul Craig. Foot on the hips is an aggressive way to push off. He already has 3 triangle submissions professionally.
What he needs to do, though, John, you can see he's got the overhook on the far side arm there, the left overhook on Ankalaev's left. Oh, now he's lost it. These big punches is where Ankalaev does his best work. Standing over his opponent.
I spoke to Ankalaev's team, and they said that he was hungry, ready, and finished it off with simply by saying he is a monster.
Last 10 seconds.
There's the clapper as Ankalaev tries to get past the hands of Paul Craig. Sorry, the legs, and lands straight in to the mount position as well. A ferocious finish to round number 1. On April 8th, with a week-long celebration of top moments from the historic fighting organisation. That is, of course, only on UFC Fight Pass. Round number 2, Craig in the black, Ankalaev in the red. Strong finish for Ankalaev as he leg-dragged Paul Craig and then landed some big shots, took that mount position. That is the lasting memory. What will he do round number 2? Nice reverse kick there from Paul Craig.
Just to give an alternative perspective of that front round, that may have been exactly what Paul Craig needed, given the fact that he's lost his last 2 fights in the first. He may have needed to go through a little adversity just to rebuild that confidence. And he certainly did that at the end of that first round.
Ankalaev came in as a massive -700 favourite. Paul Beardew Craig +450. A lot of hype surrounding Ankalaev, who trains out of and comes from the Dagestan region, trains sometimes down in Chechnya as well. We've seen fighters from that region have a lot of success in mixed martial arts and, of course, here under the umbrella of the UFC. He actually won a Grand Prix recently, Dan, where he had to fight his teammates and he knocked him out. That was over in Chechnya.
That's a good teammate, John.
Well, you actually have opinions about that, don't you? Sometimes you do have to, you will come across your teammates at some point if you're in the same weight category.
Certainly when you get up to the top levels, I do think it causes problems, and I do think that, you know, it's perfectly fine for people not to fight their teammates on lower levels, but when you start getting up to this level, you know, you get into the top 5 and top 10 and you're sharing the space with teammates, a decision sometimes has to be made. Now, that's clearly not a decision that Ankalaev is going to struggle with, because he's already made that decision on the lower levels. So he's prepared to fight anybody to get to the top. I mean, this is a selfish sport at the end of the day. All these fighters are here to be successful in their own right, and Ankalaev's 100%. Oh, look at that break of the clinch combination there. Well taken by Paul Craig, but certainly something to consider when they lock up again. Good work by Craig, edging forward, landing those kicks.
Yeah, low, then high from Paul Craig.
Massively outpointed on the strikes at the moment, though. Ankalaev 33-7 for Paul Craig.
Head movement there from Ankalaev, but he gets his chin checked there by Paul Craig. Nice jab from Craig.
Paul Craig looking like he's trying to draw the attack from his opponent now. Oh, that's what he was looking for. He was looking for a level change opportunity.
And he completes it as well.
Left his chin out there, tried to get Ankalaev to commit to a strike so he could level change underneath it.
Ankalaev scooted his butt back to the fence. Craig looking to establish this position, Dan, before he starts either some strikes or moving forward. And you just got to be so careful. It's very even on the ground.
Nice.
From
Look
his
at that.
knees.
Wow.
Lifting Paul Craig up and just dumping him on his back.
That's some real deadlift strength there from Ankalaev. Not really needing the strength of his legs at all to lift Paul Craig up. Now he finds himself in a side control position.
It was a perfect takedown, Dan, to find that position straight away, off of his knees as well. Wow.
Very impressive. Paul Craig's got to move here. His arm's in the wrong place for an arm triangle now. Oh, Ankalaev abandons it. Works elbows to the body instead.
Yeah, look out for maybe a move towards a crucifix position. There it is. Not quite. Certainly looking to move around the body and use elbows as a means of destruction.
Look how Ankalaev's using his right arm to keep the hip pinned of Paul Craig. Now, as soon as he releases that, Paul Craig lifts his hip off the floor and starts to turn into him.
Side of the head. Shut up, side of the head.
Mark Goddard asserting himself inside the octagon. Those punches were clean.
People are often surprised. There's actually a lot more of the head that you can strike in the rules. The back of the head is below the ears at the back of the head. It's not the top side, the crown of the head. It's not the back corners of the head. You know, you can really strike a lot of the head.
As long as your glove is hitting a part of the ear as well, then it's not. Ankalaev matching his ground game thus far. This, the third and final round of this light heavyweight contest. Straight to work is Ankalaev. Slips and rips.
Oh.
Big head kick. Lovely combination there from the Russian. Look at the power he's generated from his knees again.
A real panic takedown attempt there from Paul Craig.
Massive sense of urgency there from Ankalaev, who cranks up the tempo.
Now, if Paul Craig's hurt, he's got a real good poker face. He's able to cover this very well, but that panic on the takedown and the scramble that followed really showed that he was hurt by that head kick.
Ankalaev out of the southpaw stance, but I have actually seen him knock guys out from orthodox as well. A nice head kick there by Craig. Trying to chalk some back up from his corner.
Paul Craig needs to really up his output if he's going to win this round, if he's going to win this fight. 45 strikes to 9 at the moment in favor of Ankalaev. Oh, fainted
double left
low.
hand. Yeah, that's nice. What do you think the strategy of Paul Craig should be now, Dan? Should he test himself out on the feet? Should he try ever so hard to get this combat sambo guy down to the mat?
You know, he was doing really well with his kicking game, and he stopped investing in it. What I would like to see him do is what I would have liked to have seen from the first round was to really invest in a long jab, really sting the jab. Now you can see here, by not using the jab, he finds himself backed up against the fence trying to use a push kick before he level changes. You need your jab in that circumstance. You have to at least force your opponent back onto his heels before you level change, so you know that there's nothing coming your direction.
Paul snapping him down again was Ankalaev. Paul Craig trying to get some posture. Now the Dagestani fighter weighing heavy, and he's turking that leg now as well. Well done there by Paul Craig to get back to his feet. He now just needs to find some space as well, Dan. Yeah,
he saw that window of opportunity to get back to his feet, but Ankalaev is still in on the clinch. Oh, spinning elbow attempt by Paul Craig, who falls to the floor. Was he a little dazed by that?
Once again, Ankalaev trying to wrap that head. And there was a couple of punches to the back of the head there. Or maybe not. Maybe I saw that wrong.
I think that was a warning from Mark Goddard to not throw any more strikes to the back of the head. It's difficult in that circumstance because obviously Paul Craig is turning to face us in the commentary booth, so he's actually turning his head away, and the position that Ankalaev was in, he couldn't see the direction that the head was turned, so he's just throwing to whatever target's there.
Ankalaev looked to pull and turn Paul Craig over, but Craig was wise to that. Does, however, roll and puts Ankalaev into his guard.
Big shots from Ankalaev here. Paul Craig crammed up against the fence in a very uncomfortable position.
1 minute 40 left here in this contest.
Got to do something big here.
Nice, let's go.
How difficult is it when you're in that 90-degree angle of the octagon, Dan, to get back to your feet with that kind of tripod force coming down at you?
it's very difficult because not only are you trying to get back to your feet, but you're also carrying their weight at the same time. As you can see, Ankalaev here, he's almost not touching the floor. His whole body weight is resting on Paul Craig's legs. Now, if you find yourself in this position, you have to accept that you're going to take punches getting back to your feet. It's just a part of the process. You find yourself in this vulnerable position. You have to accept that you are going to take some shots if you're going to get back to your feet, and you just have to go for broke and try and get there. You know, there's a benefit in having your back up against the fence because you can use it almost as a rest to drive yourself up into. It's like doing a squat against a wall. You can use the wall as a support, but you have to get your feet underneath you to do that. And Ankalaev, using good head position here, is forcing Paul Craig to accept this position.
And it's forcing those vertebrae at the very top of the spine, but the neck, the kind of top of the back and the head, and putting a lot of horrible pressure on the neck and spine of Paul Craig.
It also gives you very little options to move your head when you're in this position.
Which means you're going to take some shots. Last 10 seconds in this round and contest.
Oh, look at this! Beautiful work by Paul Craig.
Big triangle set up.
Oh, here's a tap! Wow!
In the dying seconds,
what a comeback from Paul Craig!
Gets the win. Unbelievable!
Wow!
What a comeback!
I have never seen a turnaround that quick before. For my money, Paul Craig was out. He was crammed up against the fence. The 10-second counter went, and Paul Craig threw that triangle up like a Venus flytrap, clamped onto his opponent.
It's not over until the fat lady sings.
Where's the fat lady, John? Bring her in, the fight's over. Wow, that was incredibly impressive. Imagine what that does for the confidence of Paul Craig. To know that he can be on the back foot for so long and to be able to clamp that triangle on was a thing of beauty. And he takes the O from an unbeaten fighter. Roger Gracie sitting in the front row will be proud of that triangle.
I'm just picking my chin up from the floor right now. Unbelievable. Let's take a look at that in real time, Dan.
There's the 10-second counter, so with 7, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, it's clamped on, he's squeezing, and as soon as the bell goes, the tap's right there before it. That's very incredibly impressive from Paul Craig to squeeze so hard in such a few seconds. Amazing. What a good lesson for Ankalaev, who was dominating that fight from start to finish, and what a confidence booster from Paul Craig.
What a tight triangle that man must have. Quite an
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mark Goddard has called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 59 seconds of round number 3. Declaring the winner by submission due to a triangle choke, Paul Bear Juke Craig.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Gentlemen, we got over the rules in the back. I want you to protect yourself at all times. I want you to obey my commands at all times. I want you to fight hard but fight clean. If you want to touch gloves, touch them now. Good luck to both of you.
It is International Fight Week, and there are some very big fights this weekend, but few, if any, are expected to be better than the one we're about to witness. Johnson versus Gaethje. Gaethje in the white, Johnson wearing blue, scheduled for 5 rounds.
Excellent combination.
Already rattled Gaethje.
When Gaethje gets hit, man, he wears guys out. The longer this fight goes, the better it is for him. But Michael Johnson should not be in there brawling. Don't get overexcited by knocking him off balance early.
How about the hand speed for Johnson?
Oh, so fast, and it really starts with his feet. Several fights ago, he'd leave his feet often, overreaching with that left hand. Now feet planted, feet quicker. Ooh. Beautiful combination from Michael Johnson.
We've seen Gaethje get rattled before, but always comes back. Has a great shin and lands a right hand, and then a knee as well for Gaethje.
Excellent combination for Gaethje. Really does his best work when he can get his hands on you. He punches into the clinch, and he's got beautiful, dirty boxing, and always finishes with leg kicks. He breaks guys down with leg kicks. That's exactly what he told me this week. Look, I want to start at his legs and I want to beat him down.
Gaethje, constant forward pressure. It's all he knows.
And this was key for Gaethje, right? If he could get Michael Johnson to stand flat-footed, keep him in front of him. This is not what Michael Johnson wanted to do. He wanted Gaethje to have to find him, to be searching for him. Now he's trapped with his back against the fence.
And Gaethje didn't do much trash talking before the fight, but he's jawing at Johnson right now.
And another leg kick, another one landed by Gaethje. This is his style of fight, man, in your face.
Does not want to let Johnson breathe. Nice counter left hand from Johnson. Body shot, a good one from Gaethje.
Now it's interesting, the corner Michael Johnson calling for body shots now too. Gaethje stands up very tall, so the body is there. But man, another chopping leg kick. Michael Johnson's gonna have to address those, either with counters or catch him, look for a takedown, or just stick his knee out there and check it. Cannot allow Gaethje to keep chopping him down. Gaethje has TKO'd a couple of guys with leg kicks in fights.
Oof. Oh, the left hook connected for Gaethje, and Johnson wobbling again. This is not the fight Johnson said he would fight, but right now he's right in the pocket, swinging away.
Johnson's calling him to come forward, but right now this is a Gaethje style of fight.
Johnson's landing his shots as well, but the harder punches certainly for Gaethje.
Well, Gaethje likes to cover up often. He puts his head down and covers up. Johnson's got to transition from straight punches to some more uppercuts and hooks to find the hole. But this kind of pressure wears you out when you're constantly being walked down against the fence. Now Michael Johnson center of the octagon. This is where he needs to stay.
Johnson told us specifically, I will not stand in front of him so he can tee off on me like everyone else. I'm not interested in a war. But that's what we have right now.
It's tough with Gaethje, man. He almost forces this because he's constantly in your face, and you hit him with everything you got, and he still walks forward. Johnson's gonna have to rock him. He's gonna have to severely hurt him or knock him out if he wants to stop this pressure. This is just the only way Gaethje knows how to fight, man. Non-stop.
It's scheduled for 5, but at this pace, we might not even reach 2. Total strikes so far. Look at the output. 45 landed for Gaethje, 34 for Johnson.
Johnson not finding a home for the left hand now. He did early. Gaethje starting to block it as he brings up that right arm.
Oh!
He hurt him! He hurt him!
Massive one for Johnson! Gaethje stood up to it, and now he's down! Johnson takes the back!
Really nice adjustment by Johnson. Gaethje continues to cover up, and Johnson now finding the holes in the defense and attacking the body. Beautiful work here from Michael Johnson.
What an opening round between Gaethje and Johnson! Gaethje loves it. What a debut this has been, win or lose.
I'm telling you, these guys didn't like each other before, but they're earning each other's respect right now. And you heard Henry Hook the Horn and Michael Johnson say, go low, then go high. They want to get, as Gaethje covers up, they want to get those elbows going up and down and create more openings. Work the body, then come back upstairs.
Gaethje was honest with his assessment about his skills. He said, listen, the way I fight, it's just a matter of time before I get knocked out in the UFC. Johnson agrees, saying that knockout will happen tonight.
Johnson bouncing on the feet now, not allowing him to walk him down. That's key. He's got to circle, get back to the center of the octagon here, and he does. Nice work there from Michael Johnson. Got caught a little flat-footed in the middle of round 1.
Watch the fingers in his face.
Just waiting for something big to happen again because you know it will.
And relentless with these leg kicks, non-stop, and that will limit the movement of Michael Johnson if this fight continues, gets in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round.
And still, even after getting knocked down. Gaethje coming forward. Oh, there's a right hand. Gaethje's still on his feet. He may not know where he is, but he's standing up.
Johnson's got to push away from this clinch and open up. He does not want to stay here. Gaethje's in great shape and he recovers quickly. He's been hurt before in fights.
Michael, watch the thumb.
And some elbows now for Johnson, who's just picking his spots. Gaethje fighting back with an elbow of his own and a knee.
But he bought himself some time. Michael Johnson needs to keep this fight in space. That's when he's hurting Gaethje.
The fight living up to the hype. And now Johnson working the body a little bit.
With both guys doing some nice body work. Johnson really digging, good hooks, and Gaethje continues with the leg kicks. Gaethje's got to do a better job just getting his hands on Michael Johnson, limit the space, get into dirty boxing scenarios, maybe start using his wrestling look to take him down. Because now, when the fight is in the center of the octagon twice now, Gaethje's been rocked badly. He's got to do everything he can to get this fight into the third round. Johnson's expended a lot of energy. He's got to hope that he starts to tire out, and it limits his power.
Gaethje seems to get clipped every fight he has, but somehow his chin is up to the task.
Well, the guys he's fought before do not hit as hard as Michael Johnson, that's for sure. But the longer this goes, the less likely you're going to see a one-punch KO from Michael Johnson. You can hear Henry Hoof telling him body all night. They want him to keep working that body. Smart work here from Michael Johnson. And in covering up like that for Justin Gaethje, it makes him a target. A target, and Johnson's finding some holes.
Angle! Angle off! Angle off! Let him feel something! Movement! 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 Nice! Nice, Michael! Nice, Mikey!
Oh, Johnson!
Nice uppercut from Gaethje. Caught him flush on the chin, and Johnson's rocked now, and Gaethje's got to walk him down and unload.
Johnson's legs are up there. Uppercut! Right hand! Big uppercut again! And it's Gaethje's moment! Can he close the show? Johnson covering up, stumbling backwards. He's bloodied, he's beaten,
Boy,
but he's not finished.
I like it, chopping the legs down, being smart about this. He's not rushing it, he knows he hasn't hurt. He knows he's got him tired.
I think Gaethje's tired too.
I don't know why he didn't jump on him there. I mean, both guys going for it here and expending a lot of energy.
It's an instant classic no matter what happens. A leg kick. Johnson's legs are shot.
Boy, bad sign for Johnson. Almost looking like he wants to pull guard. Both guys exhausted.
There's no way this goes 5 rounds. They may both have to tap out because of exhaustion. 20 seconds left in round 2. Can Johnson survive?
That's it.
He cannot. Justin Gaethje with his ultimate highlight. He doesn't even have the energy to celebrate. An unbelievable battle, and he stuck the landing. A fight of the year contender for sure in Las Vegas in July. Unbelievable. Our Move with a Fight sponsored by Metro PCS, covering 99% of the people in the U.S. with a network that's more reliable than ever.
Man, so much heart. Rocked badly twice. Eats a big left hand, and there's Gaethje rocked bad, but Gaethje all heart, man. And this is a guy, every fight he goes to war. Every fight he gets tagged, digs deep, finds a way to recover here, ties him up, and then boom, that short uppercut changed everything, and he smelled the finish. And man, this kid just does not stop. He promised everybody he would bring it when he got to this level, And man, did he come through huge against an extremely talented lightweight.
Gaethje said, I think each of us are going to get a huge bonus tonight. No matter what happens, it'll be that kind of fight. And boy, was he right on that. Gaethje, 18-0, 15 knockouts, and he stuck the landing.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Big John McCarthy has called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 48 seconds of round number 2, declaring the winner by TKO, Justin the Highlight Gaethje.
Matt Hughes, the champion. Mario Yamasaki, the referee.
Are you ready?
Wow, that was intense.
Are you ready?
The challenger,
Let's
Frank
go!
Trigg. And here we go for the welterweight championship of the world. Trigg coming out southpaw. High kick blocked.
That just highlights what I was saying about Matt Hughes. I mean, this is a guy who's constantly evolving.
And you know they work hands at the Militich camp.
They work everything.
Absolutely.
Tie up.
Who will get the first big takedown? Remember, Frank did take Matt down in the first matchup. Wow, this is a battle of great wrestlers in this position, buddy.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see two guys who could have very easily competed in wrestling find their way.
He got
hit in the balls.
He got hit, yep. Oh, and he's still going after.
He's out.
And he's trying to finish it. Frank Trigg looking to finish Matt Hughes.
Wow, he got rocked.
Frank Trigg looking to finish Matt Hughes.
He got hit in the groin, looked to referee Mario Yamasaki. Mario Yamasaki didn't stop it, and Frank Trigg took advantage of it.
Wow. And now Frank Trigg in a good position.
Wow.
And he rains down side control. Trying to finish the fight here quickly against Matt Hughes.
He's got the mount. You hear Rico Chaparelli in his corner saying, relax and breathe, Trigg, you're looking good. Trigg took advantage of an opportunity. I mean,
he did the right thing. You continue to go until you're told to stop.
Absolutely. I mean, Matt looked to help from the referee, but Mario Yamasaki didn't see the groin strike. Good control by Trigg. Nice mount. Matt tries to bring him off, but he gets his back. Could this be payback for the first fight?
Could this be exactly like the first fight?
Matt Hughes choked out Frank Trigg with a rear naked choke in the first fight. Now he finds himself in the same situation with Trigg on his back.
Hughes has recovered from the unintentional strike, but can he survive this bad position he has been put into?
I've never seen Trigg choke anybody out like this. He's got a hold.
Matt Hughes in survival mode here.
Trigg's doing a really good job of holding it back. Now he's got
Look at this. If he stands up, it could be identical to what we saw before with the other fighter taking advantage.
Matt's face is going red. He might have to tap.
Oh, Matt Hughes survives. Matt Hughes survives. Oh, my. And here we go. Bam.
Whoa. The brink of defeat. And he pulls it out.
Are you kidding me?
It's payback time.
And he will take full mount. And he will try to ground and pound Trigg, who must be exhausted from trying to close down that choke.
Absolutely. This has got to be disheartening for Trigg here. He thought he had him. He took advantage of a mistake by Hughes.
Gives him his back.
Oh, my God. He's got it. He's got it sunk.
A good elbow by Hughes. And another one delivered to Trigg.
Good job by Trigg rolling away from the rear naked choke, but Matt Hughes has still got him mounted. And dropping those elbows.
This is what the UFC is all about. Big elbows by Hughes.
He has stopped a lot of people from this position.
Trigg
He's got the back again.
Will he really stand up here, Joe? I just picture the great finish before. Hughes would be happy to let him stand up, get those hooks in and pull down that neck as he did before.
He's got it. He's got it. He's got it.
Can he finish? Trigg. It's out, and it's all over. And it's all over. Matt Hughes remains the welterweight champion.
Incredible. Incredible.
That man is as great a champion as we have ever witnessed here in the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Matt Hughes showing incredible character, incredible resolve, the ability to withstand pressure. He got rocked, he got kicked in the groin and hurt. He turned to the referee for safety. The referee said that he didn't see the shot, keep going. He got rocked by a couple punches. Trigg had his back. Let's take a look at the first knee. This is the first knee to the groin that started things off badly for Matt. Bang, right on the nugget. See, he turns to Mario Yamasaki to tell him he got hit. And then he got rocked. Trigg raining down punches.
Listen.
Oh, right on the...
What's it?
You hear Mario Yamasaki said, look out for the knee, but he didn't do anything to stop it, and Trigg took full advantage of this.
And then Trigg was so exhausted after trying to put the choke down that he could not survive the reversal of fortunes.
Beautiful job by Matt Hughes, overcoming diversity and finishing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee has called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes 5 seconds of the very first round. For the winner by tap out due to a rear naked choke, and still the undisputed UFC welterweight champion of the world, Matt Hughes.
Volkov. Tonight's Fight Clock is brought to you by Modelo Especial, brewed with a fighting spirit since 1925. Lewis is in black, Alexander Volkov in gray. And that fight that Lewis had against Verduma was October 2017, and Derek forced to pull out just a few hours before the fight, but he's worked hard on his posture. He's stretching pre and post workout now and feels like his back hasn't felt this good in years. We'll see if it pays dividends tonight.
Well, there's been a lot of guys with back injuries, but you got to wonder what he could do to fix that, whether it's surgically or through some sort of long-term therapy, but he continues to fight. It's very difficult to train when you have that kind of an injury.
Right.
Almost impossible, Joe. I mean, the fact that he said it limited his training a lot, so I'm curious to see what kind of output he has even in this first round.
Did you ask him what he does to supplement with it for endurance?
Well, he doesn't have any supplements. He just says, I got a round that I'm going to try to take this guy out in. That's what he said. Wow. So let's see what happens here.
He got tagged. Front kick to the body. He's hurt.
That body shot hurt him.
Volkov's all over him.
The knees and the teep kick to the belly already hurt so bad.
Lewis loads up, nothing doing there. Strong start for Drago.
He's not going to go out easy, Derek Lewis. I'm not going to make this easy.
Drago just shook his left hand.
Oh my God.
Counter right from Volkov.
Huge right uppercut. Lands. Derek Lewis trying to tough it out. Something might have hurt his eye or his nose, because you don't react like that unless it lands really wrong.
I'm not sure.
See, his eye might be, it could be his orbital, but he's toughing it out. He don't care. Let's see what happens here.
Pay attention to Volkov's left hand. He was shaking it earlier. He accidentally poked him.
Good sportsmanship by Volkov to even say that.
Yeah.
He could have kept going. Nobody would have known.
Volkov's pointing to his mouth, though. He's saying that he fish hooked him.
You ready to fight?
He's saying something.
Why are you stopping the fight? It's okay. It's time to fight.
I'm not exactly sure what he's saying.
I think he was saying that Volkov was stopping it himself, but there was no eye poke. He just stopped because he thought he was poking him in the eye, and Volkov could have kept going.
Yeah, you can lose a fight for calling timeout.
Yep. Yeah.
2 minutes have gone by. Volkov goes high with the kick, nothing doing.
I may be mistaken, but I felt like he was pointing towards his mouth, saying that Derek Lewis like reached into his mouth or something.
Huh.
I don't know, though. That was confusing.
He's already landed some big shots to the body of Lewis, and he keeps going to the body with those punches and teep kicks.
And I'm being told there was no eye poke, so Herb Dean largely did his job there. Volkov switching up the footwork here early.
Where I'm sure the truck will isolate it.
Wow, what a crazy looking takedown he attempted.
Derek Lewis has had a penchant for fighting well, or at least surviving well off of his back in his UFC tenure. Trying to control posture here. Just over 2 minutes to go in our opening round.
Lewis uses that underhook to get back up to his feet.
Keep those hands tight. Oh, that's the hand that he said he needed to land, and there it is. He only needs one of those.
Yeah, that's what makes Derek Lewis so fun to watch. Hammers. Oh, big takedown.
So the high amplitude takedown here from Alexander Volkov. Let's see what he can do with it. Short elbows.
We might not see Derek Lewis get up from this. He might just be okay with just waiting it out, waiting for the round to start over.
We've seen Lewis rally from adversity before. He got dropped by Tim Johnson early, came back to win that fight. Slow start against Shamil Abdurakhimov in a main event. But not necessarily the start he was looking for tonight, though.
There's definitely no quit in Derek Lewis, though. I mean, you could hurt him, and he could still knock you out with one punch, as you saw. He grabbed his eye, took 3 steps back. The second Volkov came at him, he threw an overhand right, almost got him.
Volkov's taking his back here.
And this is that brown belt he was talking about. That let's see if he can utilize it and get the finish here. I mean, he's got the back.
He may switch to the arm. He may switch to the left arm. The way he's holding the wrist there.
Definitely there, Joe. You're exactly right. But he's not setting the legs up exactly like he's going to do that.
Yeah, he might switch. Look at this. Good job by Volkov staying on the back. Uh-oh.
Nice
Derek
by
Lewis on
Derek
top.
Lewis.
Not a man you want on top of you in this situation. Under 30 seconds to go in the round.
Big elbow by Lewis.
He's just so strong.
Oh! Ground and pound from Derek Lewis here. Crowd getting behind the Black Beast. Minutes in the can. Tonight's corner cam. Up an HD motorcycle, adrenaline kicks in and refuses to tap out. Check it out at h-d.com/explore.
And Derek Lewis's corners are exactly right. Look how far out he is. I mean, that's Volkov range right there. You can't be eating those kicks, because what he'll do is he'll jab you, teep you, and kick you, and then when you run in, he's going to knee you or elbow you, and that's what we've seen so far. But Derek Lewis needs to get in that pocket ASAP.
Oh,
nice right hand.
Oh, he stiffened up.
Lewis covering up.
Lewis looking tired.
Yeah, he's in trouble. But he will always throw those
Always
bombs.
has that one, though. Always has that punch.
And it looks like a potentially serious orbital injury for Derek Lewis that maybe is affecting him in the fight.
That's the second time he's gone for that takedown.
Yeah, the left eye does seem like it's swelling underneath the left eye, but what's interesting is they had the end swell on the right eye in between rounds, so that might be bothering him as well.
I think it could be orbital, like you guys were saying. That's when you usually see people grabbing at their eye like that. It's supposed to be one of the most painful things you can do. Thank God I haven't dealt with it, but I could imagine that big hand of Volkov in my eye might do it too.
You just keep moving that head, Doc.
There's that right hand again, right to that eye. As a bantamweight, when you watch heavyweights fight, does it kind of freak you out how little they move?
Well, that doesn't freak me out. It freaks me out how big and giant they are, and that only one of those punches is just like, it'll probably knock me in the next year. They're enormous.
Oh, big jab.
That was a
big
jab.
by
I mean,
Volkov.
the human brain can only take so much pressure. I don't care how big you are, and these guys are nailing each other.
Air Asia, now everyone can fly. Volkov seemingly not in any rush when he has had Derek Lewis on the ropes. Continues to bide his time. 3 minutes now to go round 2.
Well, I just think he's got to be cautious because of that. Because Derek Lewis can always fire back and knock you into another dimension.
Lewis's 9 UFC knockouts, tied for second most in UFC heavyweight history. 6 of those on the ground.
Right now, Lewis is playing the game where he's pulling Volkov back into his power. You see him pulling? He's trying to get Volkov to come to him to land the big strike, but Volkov's not biting. what Volkov could do is start using some jabs, start using those teep kicks, start beating up the legs of Lewis. Don't just look in the mirror is what I call this. You're staring at the mirror, some fakes. Get Derek Lewis biting on something. Right now, they're going speed for speed, shot for shot. There needs to be something in the middle to fill the gaps for these guys to offset each other. Nice, that can land all day. That's the type of stuff Volkov should be doing nonstop.
Volkov switched stances quite a bit as well. You see him now, he's moved back to orthodox. He was fighting southpaw for a bit. But I completely agree with you about attacking those legs.
And the body. I mean, anytime he's hit Derek in the body, it almost seems to affect him.
Pretty good counter right from Alexander Volkov. Much more of a volume guy than Derek Lewis is.
If I'm Volkov, I'm firing left teep kicks to the gut of Derek Lewis for the rest of the fight, and then bring it high, just like he did there. Just keep going to the legs, keep going to the body. That'll drop Lewis's hands, take the wind out of his sails, and take away some of that power.
He's going with that front kick to the body over and over again here.
Jabs and teep kicks all day will get the win for Volkov. And if Volkov fakes more, he'll have more openings. Ooh.
Nice job by Volkov using that length. You know, we talked a lot about Stefan Struve in the past, maybe not maximizing his length. Volkov uses it well.
The Irish are already singing.
Lewis at times can lull you into a false sense of not security, but comfort, and then he comes with those lunch boxes. 45 seconds here in round 2. Oh. Beautiful inside leg kick for Volkov. Counter right from the Black Beast.
Always dangerous. His ability to explode. I mean, if he could just figure out how to fix his back problem.
Goodness, he's throwing that from the hip and it's still landing. Comes that left high, yep.
Uppercut, lost the mouthpiece. Volkov lost his mouthpiece. I don't know if Herb Dean has seen it. He's seen it. He's going to pick it up.
You put it in.
You put it in, bro.
Huh? Yeah, you put it in.
I don't think he knew it was his mouthpiece.
Oh, wow.
See who emerges here as heavyweight contender. Less than 5 minutes now to go.
And his corner minced no words. And you can see Derek Lewis looking to unload bombs.
Man, fakes, feints would go a long way with these giant gentlemen.
Well, we saw some earlier from Volkov. We're just not seeing much anymore.
Well, you see how they're just staring and then going. So there's no break in rhythm, there's no timing. It's just like, all right, when you go, I'll be faster than you. No, I'll hit harder than you.
He's giving them a little.
There it goes. That's what he needs more of, those. And then teep kicks. Maybe go to the legs a little bit. Lewis playing the pull game. It's the third time he's tried that takedown, and you fake the single and you step around. It's not high percentage takedown, but it does work in transition. But from the outside like that, not very utilized, I would say.
Volkov going southpaw here. He wasn't going to engage Lewis there on the ground. Under 4 minutes to go. Every time Lewis flurries, this building gets ready to crescendo. Nothing doing there, though.
And what's funny is you see Derek Lewis control the pace of fights over and over. Big shot.
Right hand behind the ear and another one for good measure. Lewis able to survive another onslaught from Volkov.
What a chin on Derek Lewis.
Man.
He looks like he's gonna go down and then he'll just wing an overhand or something out of nowhere. Almost like he's playing possum. Not here though, that one hurt.
Hits the eye again. He's covering up his eye, but it was a punch, according to Herb Dean.
Right. And Volkov wisely continues to attack that damaged orbital area of Derek Lewis. Under 3 minutes now to go.
I mean, how dangerous must Lewis actually be for Volkov to be taking this pace when he's got him hurt over and over and he's just so cautious?
Well, he's so dangerous that Volkov thought that the mouthpiece wasn't his.
Yeah.
Good point.
Well, Lewis came in, at least statistically, if you care, with the best striking defense among active heavyweights. So Volkov has certainly changed that percentage around a little bit tonight.
When you get your mouthpiece knocked out and you don't know you got your mouthpiece knocked out,
you try to hand it to your opponent. Like, here you go.
You put this on, man. I don't want it.
Ouch. Those hurt. Those will work all night. That teep kick, go back and forth, and then throw a jab out there. And you can just slowly chop down Lewis, because Lewis has no offense right now, and he's only backing up. I think Lewis is just saving it for the last minute. I mean, that's all I could really think of here.
Well, he's just wading in, isn't he?
Yep. He's trying to pull Volkov, but Volkov won't throw anything. He's just kind of waiting for him because he knows Lewis is looking to counter him. So he's just playing the waiting game back and forth. It's counter for counter with these two gentlemen.
90 seconds to go.
Oh!
Watch those fingers.
Nice kick to the body. And again.
Those are going to keep landing all night if he keeps throwing it. And that's what Lewis has to do right there. You can't stay at kick range. This is what he needs to do, and he's been waiting for the last minute here. As you can see, he's pressuring now. But if you're not going to be eating those kicks and those jabs, you got to keep going, and you got to keep pressuring. You got to keep Volkov on his heels.
That's a big right from Derek Lewis. See how much the Black Beast has left in the tank, and if he can rally here down the stretch.
I mean, he just eats stuff and looks at you. He doesn't even care.
Yeah, he just kind of
Oh, my goodness.
He wobbles and then looks for a hammer. It's so fun to watch, though, because you just don't know what's going to happen.
You're exactly right. So hard. Incredible finish.
Unbelievable. Volkov does not know what happened.
Volkov still getting his wits about him. They help him to his feet. The Black Beast has done it.
Goodness.
Unbelievable.
Where's Daniel Cormier at?
Wow.
Derek Lewis.
Unbelievable.
It really is, though. It truly, really is.
It's
unfreaking believable.
He's crazy.
He does not care. He'll take a nap in the middle of this octagon right now with the microphone in his hand when you're interviewing him.
That kind of power and that heart.
Heart is right.
He's touching his heart right there.
He knows.
Well, just when you thought his fan base couldn't swell anymore, I present to you UFC 229. This replay brought to you by Nemiroff. Bold character since 1872. How about that visual there?
And this is heavyweights, ladies and gentlemen. Boom! He waited the entire fight, a 1-2 down the middle, and then non-stop, disgusting ground and pound. Jab, overhand right, bam! On the money, folded the skyscraper to the floor, and then gets pounded into rubble on the ground. Bam! I mean, you see his head just fold back like a Pez dispenser as his mouthpiece falls out again. Insane power by Derek Lewis. This man knows he had to tough it out and knew if he landed, it would be over, and he proved it. Look at that ground and pound. It's all over.
He has that break your face open type of power, and with respect to Cain Velasquez and everybody else, there may be no more dangerous ground striker.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 49 seconds of the third round, declaring the winner by knockout, Derek the Black Beast Lewis.
All right, gentlemen, we've been through the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. You're gonna have a clean fight. Touch gloves and let's do this.
Well, here it is, Dan. The main event of the evening. Michael Bisping versus Anderson Silva. Top of the bill here in the O2 Arena, London, England.
Ready to fight? Ready. Let's do it.
Herb Dean is tasked with overseeing this main event, scheduled for 5 5-minute rounds in the middleweight division. As if you need reminding, Anderson Silva in the black, Michael Bisping in the white. Nights don't get bigger than this in London.
I don't even want to say anything, John. I'm right on the end of my seat right now. Anderson circling Michael Bisping. Bisping leader with a head kick to start with, but Anderson slipped out the way of it. Michael controlling the center so far.
Silva has good memories of competing in London. He predicted that he would be the villain this evening, and that didn't bother him. He's speaking about bringing back the belt to Brazil, and he wasn't really talking about that so much when he was fighting Diaz. That obviously gave him some confidence. That 13-month layoff has really increased his hunger, and he sees Michael Bisping right in his way to getting that title shot.
He certainly looks far more relaxed. Michael Bisping just caught him with a glancing left hook that caused him to smile, and immediately he comes straight into the center to meet Michael Bisping.
Bisping's camp have been very, very happy with the progress that he has made in this training camp. His head is in a very good space. Physically, things have gone very, very well.
Michael's constant movement makes it very difficult for Anderson Silva to settle into anything. You can see Michael's always adjusting. There's always slight movements in his head and shoulders, feints and fakes. It's very nice to watch, and it's difficult to set somebody up for something when you just don't know what they're doing. Michael Bisping pushes forward, lands a right hand, and Anderson Silva stands still.
Bisping works very well behind that jab, but he can't go chasing the spider. It's got to be a really decent mix of pushing the pace but not being exposed at any time.
Which is so difficult against a fighter like Anderson Silva. You don't even always know you're exposed until you're unconscious. Michael Bisping swings another head kick, just misses.
March 5th from Las Vegas, Nevada, UFCFightPass.com gets your evening started from Sin City. The featured bout of the Fight Pass prelims will be a lightweight showdown between Diego Sanchez and another UFC veteran in Jim Miller. The prelims are streaming live and exclusively on UFC Fight Pass beginning at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Tickets are still available.
Fascinating battle for range right now. Both fighters just feeling out their range and their distance and seeing what they can touch their opponent with, seeing how they respond, what openings they give them, what tells they have.
Michael Bisping with the greatest number of significant strikes in UFC history.
Good work from Michael Bisping, stepping in there, landing 2 shots. Anderson's backed him up against the fence, looks a little more aggressive than normal. This potentially is the Anderson Silva we saw at the weigh-ins yesterday. Really fired up to show Michael Bisping what he's capable of.
Silva looking to set himself in position. He has the precision of a watchmaker. Bisping managed to fight himself back into the center of the octagon. And really, Dan, as the fight goes on, Bisping only gets stronger.
He does, you know, as we close into the later rounds, that's when Bisping starts to pick up his work rate. It's these early rounds that Anderson Silva is the most dangerous. When he's as unpredictable, he's not showed his card, he's not showed his game.
Discovered that it's Michael Bisping's birthday this week as well. What a present it would be to himself if he pulls out a victory here in London.
Good work from Bisping covering distance here. He's taking his feet with him as he's stepping in, which is very important. Anderson Silva with a snap down for a second, disorientated Bisping.
Don't forget, we have extended coverage right here on UFCFightPass.com following the main event. John Anik, Dan Hardy and Caroline Pierce.
Bisping backing Anderson up to the fence. Good head movement again from Anderson Silva. Looking very confident. Again, pushes Bisping back to the fence. Oh! Yeah, good shots from Bisping! Anderson looked wrong for a second, but he's fired up.
Bisping's found the target very nicely indeed. Straight back into it then, Dan. Round number 2. Queued up by a roar from the London crowd.
Michael Bisping gaining confidence from the end of that round. Jason Perillo in his corner saying that he stole that round with the last flurry. Bisping pushing him back against the fence, trying to get him over his heels. So elusive is Anderson Silva. It's really difficult to commit 100% to anything, feeling that it may potentially miss.
What's the self-talk for a fighter, Dan, when they're faced with something like that?
You know, it's just a case of sticking to basics and being sure of your game. Michael Bisping needs to be confident in his punch placement. The hesitation will cause him to miss.
Memories of the Stephan Bonner fights are playing out in front of us.
The difference being Michael Bisping is considerably faster than Stephan Bonner. Bisping doing a good job of not playing Anderson Silva's game there, backing up off the fence, standing with his hands on his hips.
Keeping a very level head is Michael Bisping, but confidence beaming out of Anderson Silva. He looks like such an imposing figure inside that octagon. And we know all too well that this can just be finished in the click of the fingers.
Bisping's doing a good job though. You know, he's being patient. He's taking his time. He knows the later rounds are in favour of him.
And that is going to be key, Dan, as well, pushing this later on. We were speaking with Bisping's corner all this week, and they said after round number 2, that then goes into their territory.
I'm very much in agreement of that. This is good work from Michael Bisping. You know, like we were saying, John, he needs to keep the pressure on. He needs to make the octagon smaller, make him feel suffocated. Even if they're standing in the centre of the octagon, Michael constantly threatening to tread on his toes is really going to keep Anderson Silva in a place where he's reactive to Michael Bisping's attack.
Once again, Bisping keeping his cool, looking for openings, trying to engineer a situation where he can land that right hand, or perhaps some of his knees that have served him very well throughout his career.
Here comes the pressure forward of Anderson Silva.
Silva seems happy to be fighting on the retreat down.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Anderson Silva is because he doesn't really push forward aggressively very often, when he does, it makes people freeze up. We saw it in the Stephan Bonner fight, we saw it against Forrest Griffin as well. If he can instill that kind of fear in his opponent, a lot of the time they offer him that target that he needs to expose.
And he's showing some of this Filipino boxing that he's been working on.
He is. He's landed a couple of nice short back fists off the jab, which are a lot quicker than Michael Bisping seems to be anticipating. But again, Michael holding the centre, the stubbornness and the consistency of Michael Bisping showing through. He's not giving an inch to Anderson Silva, and he's certainly not showing him any respect that he thinks he doesn't deserve. Anderson briefly looked over at his corner for a second for confirmation of something.
Well, Michael Bisping gave them confirmation that he wasn't too impressed by it.
In typical Michael Bisping style. Good, consistent work again. Michael Bisping moves forward behind a couple of punches, lands a good low kick.
Bisping pulled in Lorenz Larkin and Mark Munoz to help prepare for Anderson Silva. Again, that very useful work by Bisping behind that jab.
Oh, and again, nice. Anderson goes down for a second. Good uppercut from Michael Bisping. Michael's pouring under pressure. Really good work from Michael Bisping here. This definitely puts him in control of this fight so far.
Bisping is looking to hit the switch on Silva. Silva seems to have cleared his head a little bit. But Bisping is in the ascendancy here in London.
He certainly feels the momentum shift.
Last 10 seconds.
Good clean punches and shots landed. Good elbows from Michael Bisping. This is exactly where Michael wants to be going into the third round.
Good defensive. Very good spatial awareness there at the end of that round from Michael Bisping. This, Dan, is not disappointing the crowds here in London.
Not at all, not at all. This is a fantastic contest between two really talented strikers that are not scared to exchange on the feet. Anderson Silva now looks to have switched on a little more. He looks like he's got more respect for Michael Bisping now. He certainly looks like he's taking this fight a bit more seriously after that knockdown.
Well, he was conservative against Nick Diaz, but he started to loosen up as the fight went on. I mean, we talk about Michael Bisping's output going into the later rounds, but let's not forget that Anderson Silva, well, I can't remember the last time he wasn't in a 5-round fight.
Well, no, this is it, but they just don't often go 5 rounds. That's the thing with Anderson Silva. But when they have, you know, he's been consistent. I mean, look at the Chael Sonnen fight. It was the 5th round. He lost all 4 of the first rounds, and then took the last one. With a beautiful triangle. So you can never count Anderson Silva out. But this certainly bodes well for Michael Bisping.
Enjoy live and exclusive events, original programming, and the largest MMA library on UFC Fight Pass. Download the UFC.tv app today. Anytime, anywhere, your pass to the UFC.
Again, Michael Bisping just stubbornly standing his ground. Not being shaken at all by the patience of Anderson Silva, which usually can be some fighters' undoings. Again, pushes forward. Very good at taking his feet with him is Michael Bisping. Doesn't overextend, doesn't reach with his punches. Moves in well, stays balanced.
Crowd really getting behind Michael Bisping. They know how much it means to him. He has held a target on Anderson Silva's back for many, many years. And right now, he is testing his skills against one of the greatest fighters to have ever lived. And he's doing very, very well.
He is. The left hook is finding its way through. It didn't land cleanly then, but the target's certainly there. Beautiful, good strikes from both guys there. Saw the sweat ring off each other's heads.
Yeah, both of these fighters glistening under the bright lights inside the ultimate proving ground. Anderson Silva poised to strike, but the constant work rate and movement of Bisping is a riddle that he is finding fairly difficult to resolve at the moment.
Kick caught by Anderson Silva. One low kick, Michael Bisping straight back to his feet.
Big head kick from Silva.
Anderson definitely looking like he's taking this more seriously now.
Well, there's absolutely no doubt about it. Michael Bisping has been all business this week. He has got his game face on, and he is in the zone. Anderson Silva now, if you take a look geographically where he is inside the octagon, he is holding the center a lot more now.
He certainly is. You can see the confidence having an effect on Michael Bisping, making him not necessarily hesitant, but certainly more respectful of Anderson Silva's attack. Now he feels like he's definitely planning something. Fell short just there with those shots. Anderson Silva trying to create some kind of confusion.
Yeah.
Trying to draw Michael's attention to his hands.
Yeah, looking to fashion an opening by dazzling Bisping with hand movements. But once again, when he dips, he is susceptible to be getting caught.
Oh, another good jab from Michael Bisping.
Good head movement from Silva that time as he sets up that big head kick.
Anderson pushes forward, looking for that head kick again.
He's not letting Bisping out of this space, Dan.
Michael doing a great job, though, of staying out of danger. I I mean, I know he's on the back foot right now, but he's landing good shots as he's moving. There we go again.
Bisping trying to fight his way off of the fence. Silva is looking to close the distance, and I believe for a Muay Thai clinch.
Here comes the onslaught of Anderson Silva. Michael's lost his mouth guard, but Anderson Silva does not care. He's pushing forward in typical Anderson Silva style. There's the Thai clinch. Bisping's ready.
Done.
Oh! Jumping knee! Michael goes down!
But that is the buzzer.
Come on.
The buzzer has sounded.
The fight's not over. The fight's not over.
Herb Dean is saying the fight is not over.
No.
Michael Bisping, I have to say, Dan, he needs to protect himself at all times. And he was looking at his mouthpiece.
Michael was distracted then by the referee. He was asking for his mouthpiece. Anderson Silva is convinced that this fight is over, but Herb Dean is saying it's not.
Well, no, that's Michael Bisping.
The fight's not over. He goes to his corner. The fight's not over. I never called the fight.
The fight's not over. Michael Bisping is on his chair. His corner should be allowed in.
So he can go to your corner.
The officials weren't letting the cornerman in. There was obviously some confusion. But now Bisping has seen his cornerman, Jason Perillo. He knows he is still in the game.
Very confusing at the end there. So what happened was Michael Bisping was backing up, looking to the referee to try and get his mouthpiece put back in place, but obviously you can't take your eyes off your opponent.
And interestingly, Dan, because of the confusion, there is no cutman working on Bisping.
Michael Bisping does not look himself. He looks dazed, he looks confused. Anderson Silva thought that fight was won and he was already celebrating. But now you've got to expect Anderson Silva to charge forward and try and get this fight won immediately. That jumping knee put Bisping on bad street. He was definitely hurt, but now the fight started again, and Michael Bisping is back to pushing forward, although his head surely has not been cleared from that jumping knee.
Well, Bisping is maintaining range versus Anderson Silva, who is circling the octagon. Silva's, in doing that, is giving Bisping time.
See, not only can Anderson Silva create chaos in the fight, he can create chaos in the arena as well. Like, nobody knew what was happening. Anderson Silva immediately took charge then and declared the fight was over. Fair play to Herb Dean for standing his ground and making this fight continue.
It got so very loud in here. I mean, I didn't hear that final bell.
There's some definite damage to Michael Bisping's nose, but that does not seem to be deterring him at all. He almost seems annoyed at how that last round ended.
You need some time?
Shot was fired a little low.
Watch the
crown jewels of Michael Bisping. It's got up to 5 minutes to recover.
I have to say it, John, we saw it in the Rockhold fight as well. Michael Bisping being distracted by the referee more than necessary. You have to stay focused on your opponent. Yeah. This is a fight, and unless the referee is in front of you or the bell has sounded, you've got to be prepared for whatever's coming at you, including a flying knee from Anderson Silva.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's the low blow. Anderson Silva looking for an inside low kick to upset Bisping's balance, but it did catch him high.
Bisping fights on. What a war we have here in London. Bisping forcing Silva's shoulders up against the fence.
Michael Bisping is not giving Anderson Silva an inch here. Although Anderson Silva looks like he's playing, Michael Bisping is landing shots here.
Bobbing and weaving is Silva. Popping and nailing is Bisping. Setting up that big right hand is Michael Bisping. But Silva seems to be happy in this stationary position. He has an opportunity to move out of that space.
I have to wonder whether this is part of that Filipino boxing style that he's been adopting. You know, we saw him against Stephan Bonner doing this as well. Very much a Wing Chun style of parrying and countering, like a Bruce Lee Jeet Kune Do effort.
Exactly that.
Oh, good work by Michael Bisping. His hands are very fast, and Anderson just doesn't seem to be able to keep up with him. Jason Perillo asking Michael Bisping to start working the body. If Anderson's standing square to him, start thundering at that solar plexus and see if we can take the fight out of him that way.
Anderson Silva is not fighting to win points on the scorecards.
He's not. He's looking for the big highlight reel finish. And that could be the pressure of Anderson Silva, feeling that that's what everybody expects of him when he's in there. People do expect the big finish. They do expect the flamboyance and the flashiness. And that was his undoing against Chris Weidman. But he seems to be playing that game again here against Michael Bisping, and that could be a bad tactic. You know, we're in the 4th round now. Although Michael Bisping suffered a good knee in that last round, he's still pushing forward here.
The crowd getting behind their home fighter here at the O2 Arena. John Gooden in commentary with Dan Hardy. An absolute honour to be calling this battle.
Anderson really looking to catch, counter and to parry. Some really nice hand fighting going on here.
You okay? Watch your fingers. Can you see? Do I need to bring the doctor in? Yeah. Okay.
I think there might be some mind games being played now, John.
Yeah.
There was an eye poke to Anderson Silva. Oh yeah, there it is. Bisping reaches a palm out to stop his forward advance. Everyone trying to fire Michael Bisping up here. Roars and stamps of feet around the arena.
Take your time.
His corner have reminded him that he is in the 4th round. That's the Bisping corner. Whilst Anderson Silva was getting some attention to his eye, or at least having his eye examined, I should say, to be accurate.
And if anyone has an appreciation for that, is Michael Bisping, understanding the the pain of eye pokes.
Yes, indeed.
Again, Michael Bisping stepping into the pocket.
And he had one of Anderson Silva's gloves whistle past his chin. That spearing jab of Bisping, been so very successful this evening. He's worked so diligently behind it. Forcing Silva back against the fence once again. Bisping focusing very much on his own assault stand.
This is exactly what we expected Michael Bisping to do. He knows that this is how he wins the fight. It's so difficult to press forward at Anderson Silva. He plays so many tricky games. Lots of head movement and hand movement and distraction techniques. But Michael Bisping is finding his range here. Anderson Silva not giving himself the options to move away when he's up against the fence. And now immediately the tables have turned and it's Anderson Silva pushing forward. Beautiful shots, a right hook left straight from Anderson Silva. Good head movement here. Possibly looking to find the finish towards the end of this round. A good knee, Michael Bisping pushes him off.
Silva in a kind of Muay Thai-esque style, building up flurries.
Oh, there was that upward elbow that he knocked out Tony Strickland with, and a short left elbow comes over the top. Lands good shots against Michael Bisping.
Upward angled, straight right, followed by a big left from Silva. And now he's got Bisping pressed against the fence. Superman punch to see out the round. Versus Michael Bisping.
Fight. Fight.
Luke Rockhold very close to the action, checking out this fight.
We can see Michael, he's marked up, he's bloody. There's some damage to his nose. We can see some marks on Anderson Silva, but for the most part, he looks fairly clean. There's a small trickle of blood coming from the left eye, but Anderson Silva is the one that's been doing the more damaging work. A beautiful high kick there, partially blocked by Michael Bisping.
Hit that behind his left hand very nicely.
As he did against Yushin Okami. Bisping clearing his eye. Has to stay focused on Anderson Silva here. Can't be distracted by anything else. Michael pushes forward. Again pushes forward. Anderson's nowhere to be found other than the low kick. An aggressive Anderson Silva looking for that finish. Fires the high kick.
Puts it behind the left hand. That is a combination that's working for him. Silva's looking very fresh indeed coming into this final round.
Good jab from Michael Bisping.
Snap back the head of the Spider. Nice head movement from Anderson. A lot of blood escaping the face of Michael Bisping.
I think we may have a check here for the cut of Michael Bisping. It seems to be bothering him a little bit. Let's bring the doctor in and see what he's got to say. Do you want to continue? Of course you want to continue. Are you Michael Bisping? Of course you want to continue. Here he goes again. We're almost there. Round of applause for Anderson Silva and a show of respect for both guys.
Finally.
Well, I think they've earned it from each other right now. 3:30 left in the round. Everyone is perched on the edge of their seat. Michael Bisping really struggling with that nose and that cut on the bridge of the nose.
Some urgency being displayed by Anderson Silva. He almost took a couple of rounds off, certainly for the lion's share of a couple of rounds.
Oh! Front kick from Anderson Silva! Michael Bisping was wrong but stays on his feet. Anderson Silva closes the range, 3 minutes to go.
Bisping is hurt.
A knee from Anderson Silva, another knee from Anderson Silva. Looks for the tight clinch. Bisping is in retreat, firing warning shots.
He's coming back, trying to fight his way off of the fence. Anderson Silva once again sinks in that knee.
Oh! Beautiful inside turning kick
from Silva.
Anderson now becoming very creative, very relaxed. Michael Bisping trying to land the good shots as he's backing up, but Anderson Silva is like an avalanche pouring forward onto Michael Bisping now. A brief moment's respite, but you can't help but feel that Anderson Silva's setting something up.
Michael Bisping has never needed to watch his defences more in his career than he does in this final 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
It's really difficult to know how the judges are scoring it, especially with that controversy at the end of the third round. But neither fighter is backing up here. Michael Bisping is giving ground, but he's still in the fight. He's still firing forward.
He knows he is close. He knows he's landed a great many shots on Anderson Silva. But Silva knows he has a wounded Bisping in front of him.
Anderson looks like he's measuring.
Anderson Silva has some of the most beautiful techniques in his locker.
Michael Bisping shoots for a takedown. Does he get it against Anderson Silva? You can see the grimace on Silva's face as he's trying to defend that takedown, and he denies Bisping.
Michael Bisping is really in the mood today. Is this his defining career performance? Will Anderson Silva pull something out the bag here? He has under 1 minute to clock up a few more points.
We're moving into the last 45 seconds of the round now. Anderson Silva is still playing games.
Bisping needs to keep his hands up, and Anderson Silva needs to find an opening. That front kick looked very good earlier.
It did, it was very close.
Look how creative he is even deep into this fight.
It's so difficult to put any kind of combinations together for Michael Bisping right now. He's pushing forward with the jab, but to commit to anything more could be too risky at this point in the fight. 15 seconds to go. It's so difficult to know how the judges have scored it. It's so difficult to know which fighter needs to invest their time here and their energy in this last 10 seconds.
Bisping revs up his efforts towards the final bell, and it is met by a huge cheer from the London crowd. Let us pause for a moment to reflect on this fantastic main event. Anderson Silva travelled over from Brazil to face Michael the Count Bisping. He has wanted this fight for so long. He finally got to measure his skills against the legend. It's Take a look at some of the action from that final round.
Michael Bisping keeping the pressure on throughout the fight. Anderson Silva landing the cleaner, more devastating shots, but the consistency of Michael Bisping, it's difficult to know how to score this one. I mean,
ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All 3 judges have scored this contest 48-47. For the winner, by unanimous decision, Michael "The Count" Bisping!
Come, bring it in, bring it in. All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. Touch gloves if you wish. Let's do this.
Not a chance. Not a chance. Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor. Fight scheduled for 5 5-minute rounds. Here we go. Southpaw against southpaw.
Well, Conor will switch back and forth, left and right. And there is one thing we also should consider, and that is the wrestling of Nate Diaz, which is very underrated. His submission game is very, very highly respected.
Conor's movement is so brilliant. Spin and a miss. And a clinch.
There's the clinch.
Nate Diaz has only been stopped twice in his career. Submitted years ago by Hermes Franca, head kicked and finished by Josh Thompson. That's it. And this is his 30th pro fight, 22nd in the UFC.
Nice jab by Nate, and a good left hand over the top by Conor.
Conor the aggressor here early. One year, 8 months.
Good left hand by Conor.
Younger than big brother Nick. Nathan Diaz. Biggest fight of his life. Seems with Conor, every fight becomes the biggest of his life.
Conor's looking for that left hand over the top. Nate's moving away and popping that jab.
Looking for those uppercuts as well. Good movement by Stockton's own. Won't be talking as much as throwing. Both men will probably throw kicks without having to worry too much, especially Diaz with his great submission skills, especially from his back.
Good right hand landed by Diaz. Little short check hook.
McGregor obviously trying to close the distance here. Again, he winds up with that big uppercut.
And there's a hard leg kick by Conor. And a good little check hook by Nate.
Conor using different kicks already, Joe. This place is awesome. Miesha Tate just won the belt. And now how about these guys?
Well, one thing that Nate has to be considering is the weight on his front leg. He likes to stay heavy on that front leg, and if Conor keeps kicking it, it could be an issue.
Conor keeps going to that uppercut. The left side, keep an eye out if Nate's gonna get hit by it or if he's gonna counter it effectively. But he's looking for it a ton here early. There you go, right there. Trying to get Nate leaning in, Joe. Don't forget, check out FS1 for all the highlights, analysis, breakdown of the fights. The UFC 196 post-fight show on FS1 immediately following our pay-per-view.
Couple good right hands in by Nate Diaz.
Good head movement by McGregor. Off the arms that time. Some blood on the right side of the face of Nate Diaz, but both he and his brother, Joe, they've got so much scar tissue
they tend to bleed, especially from that eyebrow area, very easily. And it's already bothering him.
Couple good jabs there by Nate. Good left hand by
just
Conor.
missed. Crowd loving it, justifiably so.
Another good left hand by Conor. That one landed clean.
Nate trying to become the aggressor here, final minute of the first. Conor again, sweeping with that lead uppercut.
Takes him down.
He'll pull guard, Joe. And he is. 30 seconds. Conor trying to throw down some ground and pound or just get out of harm's way. Nate up against the fence, spins.
Good movement by Nate here.
Round one in the books. Keep an eye on the cut, the right eye of Diaz. Creative striking once again by McGregor. Conor does a nice job covering distance quickly, Joe. Darts in and out very well. He said he didn't come here to take part. Said he came here to take over. We didn't know it was going to be at multiple weight classes. Conor,
good left by
advancing pretty much the whole fight.
John Kavanagh was telling him to show him the left hand. He leans away from it and land the right uppercut.
Fatigue should not be a factor for either fighter. Nate training for the triathlon Joe mentioned.
Good left hand by Conor.
Conor pouring it on here. There's that uppercut. Conor weighing in at 168. Just missed. That's the one Kavanagh was talking about.
Clinch by Nate. Good defense by Conor. A lot of blood coming out of that right eye.
90 seconds into round two. Conor's busting Nate up, which in the Diaz world means absolutely nothing. Because he will fight until he can't fight any longer.
Excellent exchanges here.
Spectacular,
good
stylistic matchup. The Stockton slap coming soon.
Strong jab by Nate.
Good head movement. Clinch. Joe, this is what the world was hoping for.
Nice uppercut there by Conor.
Two of the greatest stand in the octagon and trade. Nate Diaz making up some ground here in the second round.
A big difference here is the... Oh, he tagged him.
Got him with the good one there.
He tagged him. He hurt him.
He hurt him with that left. And he senses it. That's another connection. Diaz. The couple of big punches that landed on McGregor's chin. Now Conor is at less than 100%. Oh my goodness, combination.
Nice knee to the body by Nate as well.
Nate Diaz
Nate's hurting him.
taking it to McGregor here. Nate right in front of his corner.
Good shots landed by Nate.
Jake Shields, Richard Perez and company. Again, Diaz connects. Conor comes back.
He caught him again with a right hook. And another left.
And again with a combination. And Conor
Look out
for the takedown.
The guillotine.
Diaz trying to finish with a submission.
He's got it.
Could he do it?
He's
Conor
on top.
trying to get out of it.
Conor's in serious trouble.
1 minute on the clock. Diaz gets the mount. My goodness. Now he's got the back.
Now. That's it. He's got the choke.
Nate Diaz.
He
has done it. It is all over. Nate Diaz beats Conor McGregor.
Oh my goodness. What a night, ladies and gentlemen. What a night.
Submission win for Nathan Diaz.
Wow. Wow. What did we say before this fight? We had never seen Conor overcome adversity, and Nate Diaz has a legitimate, high-level, world-class Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu ground game.
And it was Conor, Joe, who initiated the takedown there.
Well, he did it out of desperation.
He had to, absolutely.
He was getting rocked, he was getting hurt, and Nate Diaz just dominated him on the ground. Wow.
Man, in the last hour, partner, the MMA world became much more interesting, didn't
We
it?
could barely even get it
Oh
out.
my
We talk for a
goodness.
living.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. What a crazy night.
Fight replay.
What a crazy night.
Brought to you by Bud Light. Raise one to right now.
I hope Conor McGregor stays offline for a couple days. Here we go. Left to the body. This is early in the fight. There's a left hand. There's a nice uppercut. But boom, there's one on the chin that stunned Conor McGregor. And that's what started it all off. We saw him wobble, and we saw Nate smile. And here's Nate on the ground, just slices through him like butter, gets the mount, pounds on him. Conor's in deep, deep trouble. Conor gives up his back. Nate sinks in the choke, pounds on him again, and just locks it in deep. And Nate Diaz walks away with the biggest victory of his life. Covered in blood, double bicep. He couldn't be happier. Look at Jake Shields and Chrome Grace.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 12 seconds of round number 2. Declaring the winner by submission due to a rear naked choke, Nate Diaz!